Hey everyone, it is great to see you here once again on Dee's Delights. Tonight we are going to make scalloped potatoes, and this is not your average scalloped potato. This has Swiss cheese in it, and we also can put Kielbasa sausage. We can put like Jimmy Dean pork sausage, fry that up, bacon fried up, whatever you want to add to accent the flavor. But for this you're going to need 1 teaspoon of unsalted butter. Now that's just to grease the pan. You can use Pam, you can use salted butter, whatever you want to use to grease your pan, and you're going to use a 9 by 13. You're going to bake this at 400 degrees for about 30 minutes. But first we're going to need 4 cups of heavy cream. I have 4 cups, I have almost 3 cups of heavy cream, and I'm short 1 more cup, so I'm going to use whipping cream. So hopefully that's enough good fatty stuff in there to help that out. But the recipe does call for 4 cups of heavy cream or 4 cups heavy whipping cream. 2 teaspoons salt divided, 1 teaspoon freshly ground black pepper, I just use regular pepper, about 3 pounds of Idaho potatoes. I have Giant Eagle, and these are russet potatoes. Potatoes to me are potatoes. So just get 3 pounds peeled and cut into 1/4-inch slices. I normally just dice them into small chunks. However you want to do that. And 8 ounces of Swiss cheese grated. So I actually just shred this. So 8 ounces, I've been making this for years. As a matter of fact, a friend of mine had given this to me back in 2009. So I have made this on and off for 11 years. And I can remember asking her for this recipe because it is just absolutely delicious. And also with the ground pork sausage, I like the maple flavor. Today we're using the Kielbasa, but I like the maple flavor if you go with the ground pork. And of course bacon. Bacon goes with anything, so if you want to throw, heck, you could throw all 3 in there. Just have a smorgasbord of meat in your scalloped potatoes. So I am going to preheat my oven at 400 degrees. I am going to start peeling and cutting up my potatoes. I'm going to dice my Kielbasa. I put about a pound here. There's 3 of these, which is equivalent to about a pound. I'll see if I need all that, but whatever I don't use, guess what? You can fry it up in a pan. You can use it the next morning with eggs, however you want, pancakes. It's all good. So I'm just going to see how much of this I'm going to use in this, but pretty sure I've used a pound in the past. It's been a little while since I've made this recipe. So I will be back with you in a few minutes. One thing that's good to do, most of these cubes of cheese are 8 ounces, but I happen to look at this brand and it's only 6 ounces. So this recipe calls for 8. So I'm glad I picked up another one, because I'm going to need a 2-ounce block of this one. Boy, oh boy, you got to watch that. You know, you think you're getting a better bargain. In all reality, sometimes you're just buying less of the product. So I'm going to guesstimate that's about another 2 ounces. Almost. Very good. Got 8 ounces. Dang on it. Doug's going to have to eat this. He loves to eat block cheese. Swiss cheese, whatever kind I have in the fridge, he uses it as snacks. I'm going to grease my 9 by 13. I'll set that aside. Have some Giant Eagle fried chicken tonight, scalloped potatoes, some green beans, and then on the side we're going to have that spaghetti pizza that I showed you before. So let's get the cheese shredded. There's my 8 ounces of cheese. I'll get my 4 cups of heavy cream here in a minute because I'm going to have to cook the potatoes in the heavy cream. But I washed 3 pounds of potatoes. Now I'm going to cut them up. just kind of cut them up. It says 1/4-inch slices, but I just kind of cut them up into little chunks, bite-sized chunks. Whichever way you prefer. If you like thin, slender slices, that's hard to say. Thin, slender slices. Try to say that 3 times real fast. Okay, we're ready to measure out the heavy whipping cream. It calls for 4 cups. Like I said, I'm a little bit low, but I'm going to use regular whipping cream for the last little amount. Yeah, I'm going to be a little bit short. So we'll top it off with just plain old whipping cream. Yeah, I can tell the whipping cream's not as thick as the heavy whipping cream. So I definitely recommend the heavy whipping cream. I'm going to pour this in. We're going to put a teaspoon of salt and a teaspoon of pepper. Make sure I got a teaspoon. Yep. That seems like a lot. Let's see. Tell you what, I'm going to do a little bit less. It would seem like a lot of pepper. So I put myself personally, put about a half a teaspoon of pepper in there. You do it according to your liking. So I'm going to bring it to a simmer over medium-high heat. Okay, we'll wait till that comes to a simmer, a light boil. And then we'll add the potatoes, and then we'll turn it down to medium-low heat and simmer for about 10 to 12 minutes, or until you do the fork test, making sure that the potatoes are soft enough. And then we're going to bake them anyway, but you want them still cooked soft enough. Let's see here. Make sure the potatoes are covered by the cream when you put them in the pan, because you want them all to be cooking in that pan. I have my potatoes all cut up. I'm going to cut up my sausage now. My kielbasa. How do you say that? Kielbasa, kielbasa, I don't know. Kielbasa, kielbasa. Move that out of the way. Get rid of the stuff we don't need. Normally I just cut them in little round circles and then I quarter them. You can even just cut them in half. That way you get a bite size, but you don't have a whole mouthful of just sausage and no potatoes. So I just put them on little stacks. Yeah, probably having them is enough. See, little stacks of potatoes. Now the sausage, I'm going to fry up in a pan. It's going to be cooked ahead of time. So what I will do is fry these up. I'll probably fry them up in a little bit of butter. A little bit, oops, I forgot a stack. A little bit of butter. Let's see here. That way it's good and kind of has a crispy texture. I mean, the sausage pre-cooked, but who wants it like this? Put a little bit of this butter here, about a tablespoon of butter in the pan. We'll wait till that heats up, melts the butter, and then we'll throw this sausage on the skillet, cook that until they're nice and kind of brown, blackened. I'll cook that over about medium-high to get the sausage started. I'm going to go ahead and cover the potatoes. And remember, you want them to be covered. Be careful putting them in there, you know, like I just. So there should be enough to practically cover all the potatoes. So they're cooking in the heavy cream. Add the potatoes after the cream comes to a simmer and lower heat to medium-low and simmer until potatoes are barely fork tender, which should be about 10 to 12 minutes. And make sure the potatoes are covered by the cream. I'm going to let this come to a little bit of a boil before I turn it back down. And then I'll turn it down to a lower simmer. So I don't feel like being here all day because I got people coming over. Yeah, I turned the sausage down to about a little low to medium. Okay, I see a little bit of a boiling going on, very minute. So I'm going to give it another minute or two on the potatoes. Yep, I usually do cut those up in quarters. I can tell now that they're in the pan. I only cut them, sliced them, and halved them. I don't know if the kids are going to notice that, but somebody will notice that the chunks are bigger. Oh my gosh, that scared me. Things are so crammed in my kitchen cabinets that anything could drop out at any given time. So remember, do not let small children be around whenever I open my cabinet doors because you never know what's going to drop out. Sorry about that. So sorry. So sorry. Alrighty, so now we just wait. I have other food I want to cook, but there's just too much mess here to get involved in that right now. So I guess I can be patient and wait another 10 to 12 minutes before I put this in the oven. As you can see, I'm a little bit far away from you. I have the camera on the other table. It's starting to get browned. This is like, you could just eat this kind of sausage by itself. I do see one that I missed cutting in half, so guess what? I'll be forced to eat it. Let's see here. I see it there. One perfectly round piece of sausage that's not going to go into the potatoes today. Not today. So good. So good. I told my daughters that I'd be making the scalloped potatoes. They said, "Mom, are you making the one with the Swiss cheese?" I said, "Yes." I said, "Do you want Kielbasa, bossy, whatever the heck it is, pork sausage, or bacon?" Hands down, this was it. Kielbasa. Kielbasa. Let's see what the correct pronunciation of that is. I know how to spell it. I think. Let's see here.
Kielbasa.
Huh. Kielbasa. You don't even pronounce it. Kielbasa. Wait.
Kielbasa.
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 Kielbasa. Okay, so anywho, they like the kielbasa sausage. Alrighty. Okay, now the potatoes are actually simmering. Turn it down just a little bit. Let it cook for a little while. Remember, you will do the fork test. I'm going to clean up the kitchen. I'll be back here in a few minutes. It's just about done. I cooked mine for a couple more minutes because it took a while for it to come to a nice little simmer boil. Once it comes to a boil though, it's simmering. It probably truly did only take about 12 minutes, but I have mine ready to go. I'll double check it one more time. Just make sure that your fork can go through it. That way you don't have firm potatoes. Nobody likes a firm potato. We're going to get our sausage here, which is nice and browned. Whoops, almost shut my oven off. Have you ever done that? Out of habit? You shut the oven off and forget you got to use it, and then about 15 minutes later you realize you had food in the oven and there's no heat. Okay, let me see. I'm going to scoop about a third of this out into the pan. We're going to do it in layers. Make sure you scoop out potatoes, but also the cream, because the cream's not going to come out as fast as the potatoes are. Let me just check that with a fork again. Remember, we cooked this for about 12 minutes. Yeah. I can put a fork through it with no problem. Okay. I am going to scoop out about a third of the sausage. Sprinkle that around. It's a little bit harder to get even. I'll scoop some over here. I don't want some of the kids to be without sausage. And sprinkle about a third of the cheese. Remember, this was 8 ounces of Swiss. They said grated, I used shredded. And let's do again. Let's see here, make sure I'm not overlooking anything. I forgot my handy dandy stand. We'll go again with the potatoes. Sprinkle this around. And don't forget to put the cream in there too, because you're going to find that you have a lot of that left over in the pan and you want to use everything. Put a few more potatoes in here. Some more sausage. Yeah, it's too hot for me to put it with my fingers. Okay. A little bit more cheese. And I want to make sure I save enough cheese for the top of it. One moment. Okay, where was I? All right, potatoes. We're in our last row of potatoes. So we're going to put everything on, the cream, the potatoes, everything. So I'll get all the potatoes out of here first, then I'm gonna evenly put the cream over top. Okay, it's all in the pan there. Sprinkle the rest of the sausage on there. And that was a pound. Cut up and fried. Should I throw this in or should I? Yep. Eat it. Cover with Swiss cheese. Top it off. Now we're going to bake it in the oven, 400 degrees, for 30 minutes. The kids will be pleased. They will be pleased. Okay. Voila. It's ready to go into the oven. One delicious pan. Scalloped potatoes. And I'll see you in 30 minutes. We're going to go ahead and take this out. It's been in the oven at 400 for about 25 minutes. Let's see here. And be very careful because it is very full. So I'm going to bring it over here to show you. It's golden brown on top. And it'll keep on cooking for a while right on the stove top. So I'll tell you honestly, that was about 27 minutes at 400 degrees. You can keep it in a little longer. But I'm going to turn this down and I'm making some other food, so I'm speeding things up here a little bit. So thanks for joining me. And I will let you know about the rave reviews from my girls on the scalloped potatoes. Hi there, Lexi and Yara. How are you today?
We are doing wonderful. Someone just turned 2.
Oh, right.
Tim's house.
You are here to tell me about Dee's Delights and the recipe you just enjoyed.
Yes. Scalloped potatoes.
Yes.
Sausage? What kind of sausage was it?
Kielbasa.
Wouldn't have to drive through.
Yeah, I know. Kielbasa. Kielbasa.
It was very good. The potatoes were super soft.
Yes.
I think it's kielbasa. It was like a nice little kick of flavor and like the cheese that they were melted in. Or
Yes.
the
It was.
cream.
Do you know what kind of cheese it was? Could you guess by eating?
Either American, white American,
Lindsay was
mozzarella?
dying to tell. What do you think it is?
Swiss.
Swiss.
It is
Straight from Lindsay's mouth, who can't taste a darn thing.
It was Swiss cheese.
Yeah.
It was very, very delicious. I really enjoyed
Good.
that. Very
I am
good.
so glad you did. Thank you for the review from Dee's Delights.
You are most welcome.